Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of my mini series. I'll post a link to part 1 of this series and above. So this is about building a custom 3D printed rear tail lights for my Capra. This guy here. Again, as just to go quickly over what I covered in the last video, using these NeoPixel RGB LEDs, 50/50 sizing. There's one each inside those taillights. So basically, just to kind of summarize what I have here, I've got an ESC setup here, set of an old hacker. It's not fully working, but it gets the job done, giving power to receiver. I've got the receiver connected to an ESP32 C3 here. That's going to be, if you want to call it the brains, it's far overpowered for what it needs to do here, but they're cheap and they're small. So that guy is going to be interpreting the signals from coming through the receiver to make the tails do different things depending on what the vehicle's doing. It's just a couple sort of background pieces of information. I've got this guy, let me just turn off my transmitter, hooked up to my laptop. You can barely see it here, but basically I'm just reporting on channel output coming from the receiver to the ESP32. As I was testing, I needed to know what that was. So basically, really simply, what I've done on the receiver side is, or on the transmitter side, is I've done mixing from the steering output to channel 5 and the throttle output to channel 4, just a direct mixing, basically 100% to 100% either way. And that allows me to, again, I'll turn this on, give me a second, and you might be able to see this, but basically on here, you can see channel 1, which is the steering. It's going from about 95 to, or 100 to minus 100, depending on how far I go, basically. So I can interpret that. And you probably saw something happen here, so I'll show you more of that in a second. Really important, if you do decide to build this, I've seen this happen many times with others, so a fair warning: whenever you hook two sort of separate systems together, you've got a powered system here, you can barely see it off to the edge here. For my LiPo, it's the RC system, and you've got my laptop powering the ESP32. You do not hook up 5 volts between the two, okay? Only ground. They have to have ground, or you will not get, you will just get messy, ugly stuff. But you have to ground the two together, but that's it. So grounding is passed through, and just the signals are passed through. And these are obviously PWM signals coming out of the receiver into the ESP32. And in terms of, coding, it's really simple. You can use Arduinos for this, quite any Arduino-based device. It's just using the pulse-in library. So you're just reading the pulses coming out of PWM of those two channels and interpreting them in code to do different things. And then obviously the NeoPixel library on this guy to react. So really simply, show you what I've done so far. I'm not completely done yet, but it's basically running mode, just it's idle. And essentially idle, this is not fully set up yet because I have to put this in my Capra with a different ESC and motor, but idle is effectively braking because I'm using it for crawling. So basically when it's stopped, it's basically braking. So when you I'll go quickly into reverse. So in reverse, I just got it blinking white. So it'll just, you're backing up, it's going to blink white. Going forward, I just use a different color here, like a purple color, just to demonstrate a change. So when the idle, and you can see barely off to the left, top left there, it's reading channel 2 and it's showing the value. It's about 20 or 30. So I interpret different levels at different values. So I'm reading ranges, right? So for example, I think the throttle, when it considers it's, going forward and moving, it's about above 20 or so. That it interprets that and does this, changes the color. And then when it sees that it's backed off throttle into braking mode, it'll flash the brakes and then go solid. So a quick little flash. And then really simply signaling. So if I'm turning left, you see the servo turning there. I just have a signal, orange, amber signal blinking there. Come back to center, goes back to red, and then right. Pretty straightforward. I haven't thought about the fronts yet. I'm gonna say that for a later time. I just want to sort of get this done. It's really, really for fun to do this. It's not absolutely necessary, as you can probably imagine if you do this stuff. But I just thought it'd be fun to do. It's one of those can do it. I do realize there are products out there, and I know I have these receivers as well, where you can just buy these cheap kits where you just plug the LEDs in, and this guy, quite honestly, is doing really a similar thing to what I've written in code here. It's interpreting the channels and putting signals out and headlights out. But yeah, I want to do my own thing, right? So, and I like using RGB LEDs. Done a lot of different projects with them. I wanted a sort of custom solution. So really quickly, I'm just going to turn off the lights so you can see what this looks like sort of in dark. It'll actually be a bit washed out, but it'll give you also a better idea. So as we accelerate, this sort of purple mode, and then braking again on the side, and then signals. Colors don't come through well in the camera and in this lighting, this darkness, but signaling, right signaling. So you can see it from the side as well as from the back of the vehicle. Again, my prior video gives you a bit more information on the build of the 3D modeling and the 3D printing of this. So I really wanted to, get through this section to talk about really the coding and connectivity to the ESP32. And again, simple wiring. I've got essentially two channels here, one for each NeoPixel, because I need to know left and right signal. If it was just braking and whatnot and forward, I would have only need to have one channel with both NeoPixels on that channel, but I went separate for that. So later on I could also add, and I probably would do this as 2 additional channels, one for the front left and front right, very similar to this, and just in code, just mimic a lot of what I'm doing here. Obviously changing the color of the LEDs, but still allowing for signals to happen and whatnot. So yeah, that's about it. Anyway, I'm gonna probably do a part 3 where I'll sort of come full circle with this and show it mounted, show it running on the vehicle. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. And again, please, I've got some affiliate links in the description. So please, I kind of count on the support. You don't pay any extra money if you do buy things using those links, but I can count on that support because it helps me do more things like this and make these videos. And yes, please like and subscribe to get notified when I post the next video. All right, thanks for your time. Take care. Ciao.